What do you think is going to happen? You think we're going to be okay?
I hope so. Of course. I don't know.
Do you think about it?
I'm confused. I can't believe we went to this war. When we started bombing Iran, I was like, this can't be true.
And what about Lebanon now?
I know. Israel's invaded Lebanon. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, just fucking stop. Like, what do you need?
I'll tell you the crazy concept. We got these two old mother driving the global bus right off a cliff. That's a crazy concept. Is it somehow you can't do anything about it. You like, apparently there's nothing you could do. You could bitch about it on a podcast. That's not going to do anything. People are just going to be like, you see war good, blow up kids.
There's a lot of people that want to say it's a good thing.
Well,
but make America great again, and then it becomes a movement of a bunch of dorks, because a lot of them are dorks. A lot of them, these really weird, uninteresting, unintelligent people that have got something they cling to, and there's a lot of people that are just real, genuine patriots, and they're all lumped into this one group, and you got to accept the dorks too. Like, I sent him that information. The text message came back. Sounds great. Do you want FDA approval? Let's do it. And it was literally that quick.
So it seems that with Trump's name appearing in the Epstein files thousands of times, and with him starting the war in Iran, some of the Rogansphere comedians have responded accordingly. Even Rogan himself has expressed some criticism of Trump and the MAGA movement, which gave the impression that he might follow the lead of his comedian friends like Theo, Dave Smith, and all the others, and finally turn on Trump and acknowledge that he has been conned. However, because Joe Rogan appears to be missing a backbone and is guided by his own self-interest, he ultimately did the opposite. Despite all the criticism he and his comedian friends had expressed about Trump on his podcast, he ended up giving a speech at the White House. Before getting into any of that, I think it's important to follow the trail from the very beginning and examine where all of this started, because it clearly highlights that actions speak louder than words. The contrast between what Joe Rogan says and agrees with on his podcast and what he actually does are two very different things. So about a month ago, Rogan began a series of critical discussions on his podcast, not only about Trump, but also about the MAGA movement. This began during an episode with Dave Smith, where Rogan seemed frustrated not only with being associated with MAGA, but also with what the movement has become.
Like, my position is always like, if you're saying, if not supporting covering up the Epstein files or not supporting a stupid war of choice, a war of aggression on behalf of Israel means I'm not MAGA, then okay, I'm not MAGA. I'm not attached to the phrase "Make America Great Again." I don't care. Then
but
fine.
If that phrase sucks. Here's the thing. Like, first of all, America is great. Make America greater, I'm down. But make America great again, and then it becomes a movement of a bunch of dorks, because a lot of them are dorks. A lot of them, these really weird, uninteresting, unintelligent people that have got something they cling to, and there's a lot of people that are just real, genuine patriots, and they're all lumped into this one group, and you got to accept the dorks too. Like, the concept of making America great is a great idea, but as soon as you have a team and you allow anybody to join up, you don't even have tryouts for your team, so you've got a bunch of dipshits that are running around spouting out opinions, and you have to go along with them because they're MAGA, and then you've got bots online that are probably from Indonesia or Russia or wherever, and they're pretending they're MAGA and they're saying crazy shit. So that's a part of MAGA too. You've f***ed up by becoming a part of a group.
Yeah.
So about a week after his conversation with Dave Smith, Rogan had another comedian join in the criticism of Trump, none other than Theo. What's particularly interesting about this episode is that Rogan did not seem as perceptive as he was in his discussion with Dave Smith. This could indicate that he may have received a phone call either from Trump himself or someone in his administration, suggesting that he should slow down his criticism of Trump and his actions. This shift can be seen in the way Rogan repeatedly tries to change the conversation whenever a sensitive topic comes up. At times, he even resorts to his fake laugh, which he uses when he disagrees with someone or simply doesn't know what to say.
Yeah. But what also, it's like, it's all just a cat and mouse game. People are like, we'll elect the Democrats next time. It's like, but it's all the same shit has been happening forever. They haven't been helping anybody forever. They're letting politicians slurp on kids. All of our fucking money goes to Israel and they're using it to fucking genocide people. It's like everybody is scared out of their wits right now. It's like our religious leaders are afraid to speak out. And it's like it's a time where it's like Satan is amongst us and our religious leaders are talking about bullshit at the poll. It's just like, what is going, I don't know, man.
We got to get you off those antidepressants, son. You're losing your fucking marbles.
You think I am?
Come hang out with us. Just chill out.
I'm here.
Just chill out at the mothership tonight.
I do have to pee in a little while, but
You can pee.
I'm going to pee in a minute, man.
We'll let you.
But no, people are just scared, dude. This is
They
shit
won't
that I
let you
hear
in
from
Canada.
people.
They won't let you pee until you give them your guns.
Really?
That's how they're doing it now.
But what if you have to wash the blackface off the president? Can you use a little bit of piss
you know,
to do
Canada
that?
had this big,
Dude.
they had this big gun thing, this law they passed where they made a bunch of guns illegal.
What do you think is going to happen? You think we're going to be okay?
I hope so. Of course. I don't know.
Do you think about it?
I'm confused. I can't believe we went to this war. When we started bombing Iran, I was like, this can't be true.
And what about Lebanon now?
I know. Israel's invaded Lebanon. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, just fucking stop. Like, what do you need?
Well, they're trying to, supposedly, they're trying to stop the terrorists.
Yeah, that's crazy, though, if you're the terrorist. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to stop them, stand in front of the mirror and start there. But also, what do I know?
What do you know?
You're right, I don't. But it's all just like, there's got to be some way that we're better than this.
They're saying there's like a
So another week goes by and another comedian appears on the Joe Rogan Experience, Duncan Trussell. In this episode, Rogan has a conversation heavily focused on the war in Iran, with Duncan clearly expressing frustration over Trump starting another forever war in the Middle East. Right from the start, Duncan not only compares MAGA to a cult, which may be one of the most accurate descriptions, but also admits that he was misled by Trump's anti-war rhetoric, which he repeatedly emphasized on the campaign trail. Rogan seems to agree with much of this, which is strange considering that he took a very different approach in his podcast with Theo. And I think the main reason for this shift is the backlash Rogan received after his episode with Theo. If you look through the comments, many people strongly disagree with Rogan, while most of them agree with Theo. This may have led Rogan to change his position on Trump and his actions, which suggests that he is not necessarily guided by consistent principles, but rather by what is most beneficial to him at the moment.
Dude, I gotta tell you, I hate getting political, but you know, this war bugs the fuck out of me.
Yeah, as it should.
And this is exactly what seems to have happened to the quote MAGAverse, which is we are now at the part where the cult leaders like want to suck my dick, because this is the point of like, remember a lot, like I feel so stupid because when they were doing their no war thing, that was a big deal to me. I'm like, yes, yes, this is fucking great. No more stupid wars. No more wars. Yes, focus on the country. Why are we blowing up children in other countries for oil? This is great. And now it's wild to see what's happening. Isn't it mind-blowing that it is now, it's literally flipped. It's on its side. It's the opposite now. Now, these people who like really blatantly, we're not going to do any more wars.
Right.
Oh my God. We blew up, how many fucking Iranian schoolgirls did Trump blow up? What's the number? I'm sorry, I don't know that number. I guess it just hits different, it hits hard when you got kids.
And that was an AI strike too, right? Wasn't that an AI directed strike?
Yeah, apparently Trump said, I want to get blown by Iranian schoolgirls. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You son of a bitch. Just, whoops, sorry, sir. Misinterpreted.
180 deaths.
Largely children, teachers, and parents. Holy fuck, man.
That is...
A U.S. Tomahawk missile caused the explosion. Jesus Christ.
Can we pull up a video of Trump saying he's not going to war anymore? How do they... I just don't understand how they get... How, like, anybody... this is where it gets culty, is because some people are still making this shit work in their heads. Some people are like, well, some people are kind of on the fence when it comes to blowing up kids. Have you noticed that? Like,
as long as they don't have to watch.
As long as they don't have to watch.
As long as they're not in the general
meat.
area where it's happening.
And not even 2 weeks passed after his conversation with Duncan Trussell before Rogan was seen at the White House giving a speech. On April 18th, the White House hosted an event for an executive order aimed at accelerating the research and approval of psychedelic therapies for conditions like PTSD and addiction, which I do think is a net positive and something that should have been done a long time ago.
I want to tell everybody how this happened. I sent President Trump some information. We have a gigantic opiate problem in this country, obviously. In 2024, more than 80,000 people died of overdoses. It's a horrible number. And there's more than 5 million people that are addicted to opiates right now in this country. With one dose of Ibogaine, more than 80% of people are free of that addiction. With 2 doses, it's more than 90%. I sent him that information. The text message came back, sounds great. Do you want FDA approval? Let's do it. And it was literally that quick. These drugs are illegal not because they're harmful. They're illegal because of the 1970 Controlled Substances Act that was passed by the Richard Nixon administration. They did it to target the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement. It's not because these drugs harm people.
So again, I don't have an issue with the executive order. I actually think it's a good thing. But at the same time, it's pretty strange and honestly kind of hypocritical to see Rogan switch up like this. Less than 2 weeks after sitting down with Duncan Trussell, where they were criticizing Trump for starting another forever war in the Middle East, and even bringing up things like the bombing of a school, he's now standing behind Trump, praising him and acting like none of that ever happened. It really shows how quickly his position can change. This has actually been a reoccurring pattern over the past few weeks. First, in his conversation with Dave Smith, his position was anti-MAGA and critical of Trump. Then with Theo he shifted and became critical of Theo for criticizing Trump and Israel. After that, in his episode with Duncan Trussell, he shifted again and was once more critical of Trump. And as mentioned, not even 2 weeks later, Rogan appears to be back supporting Trump as if nothing had happened. This, once again, suggests that his opinions are not grounded in consistent principles, but instead tend to shift depending on the prevailing circumstances. With that said, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, you'll likely enjoy this one as well, where Dave Chappelle appears to be reconsidering his past decision to make trans jokes over the past few years. This is mainly because it led to him being turned into a symbolic figure by the Republican Party, and those jokes were also used in a more political way than he may have intended.